Hello, Instagram. How's it going? Hope you all are doing well. I'm coming to you tonight to do something that I've been needing to do for a very, very long time. And that is give you a good review of this book right here. But it's going to be a pretty unique review because I've got the author. Yeah, that's how cool I am. I get to talk to the author. So I'm going to invite Mr. Chris Strub in with me, and we're going to talk about his book. So I'm going to let Chris hop on in here. Waiting for Chris Strub, waiting for Chris Strub. No, it has been a long time coming because I've had this book since last year, and it's been finished for a while, but I just haven't been able to do the review. Hey, Stacy. Hey, everybody. Chris, are you there?
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, so I was telling everybody this has been a long time coming, and you heard me. I get to talk to the author. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
That's me. No, Blake, I saw your Instagram post today about Just Do It, right?
Yep.
Gary, and I know you're starting some different stuff here. I just posted 2 video reviews, 26 and 27, to my Facebook page and to my YouTube channel from Natasha and from our good mutual friend Todd Bergen. And here you go. Blake Croft, Lucky 28, and I'm really excited to be here to share thoughts.
Well, let me just say right off the bat that, I think it's perfect timing, honestly. Hey, Social Media Day, Denver's in the house. I really think it's perfect timing because, I've started this new journey all about, sharing, helping people share their stories. Hey, Sabrina. A lot of great people are jumping in, so this is great. This is awesome. And being able to help people to tell what their unique story is. And this book, 50 States, 100 Days, is all about the stories of some amazing nonprofits all over the country. And you were able to document just some amazing things. You went all 50 states, and you were able to talk to so many great people, and it's just so inspiring. And I loved reading each and every one. I've got markers all throughout here of some of my favorites, and if I didn't have my phone in one hand and I didn't have a tripod, we'd look at some of them. But
Are you at work? You're at work, aren't you?
I am. We're making this happen, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So I just want to say I am honored that this is all about stories. And you magnified them so well.
Well, Blake, it was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate that. I know you and I have been friends, like you said, for years now, which is crazy to think back how far our friendship pairs back. I know we did Strub snap swaps and stuff together. But I'm curious. You said you have some markers in the book. It's very interesting for me every time I hear someone review the book because the stories that stand out to me are not necessarily the same ones that stand out to the people that read the book. And in seeing some of the reviews, people bring up some stories that aren't necessarily the most, I mean, they're all memorable to me, don't get me wrong, but it's always interesting to hear which story stands out to someone who's reading it. So I'm curious, like what's the first thing that comes to mind when you say 50 States, 100 Days?
The first thing that comes to mind?
Well, what's the first story?
Well, I'm looking here at day 28, which was the lighthouse. Yeah. And you mentioned this. What's funny is that you mentioned this as well to the awesome people at Hotel Island in Houston when you were speaking with Bill, and you said, what if all of the tours Bill gave started and ended at a giant touchscreen where he could summon a graduate's picture and bio just by a swipe of his finger? What if all the stories that live in Bill's brain could be translated into a video that can not only be accessed from the screen in the building, but a matching user interface on the Lighthouse website? And I remember you mentioning that to the people in Houston because they had this wall where people would come and take selfies and they would share their story. And so that when I read that, I was like, hey, he's shared that before.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so like I just mentioned, a lot of the stories that people bring up aren't the ones that stand out. But if you saw my reaction there a moment ago, that story absolutely stands out. Because even now, 4 years later, and 20, 30 years.
What happened to my camera?
There's the wall. That's beautiful. I love live.
Yes.
Like, one of my long-term goals, and if I sell 1 million copies of this book or whatever, and I told Amber lives up the road from the Lighthouse, right? And I know you just interviewed her for What's Your Son? Sorry about that. I want
It's okay.
to go back to Lincoln and unveil that wall, right? Like, I want there to be a big ribbon cutting ceremony, and because this community has come together reading this book, and sorry, the dog now is asking me to play fetch.
Totally okay. Yeah.
Together and supporting this book and supporting the book. I want to make that wall a read. I said that in Houston when we met last year. I say that tonight too when I'm here on Long Island. Like, if I can make enough money where I can fill my proverbial cup to a point where we can make that wall happen, I want to go live stream that. I want to snap it. I want to Instagram it. I want to make that measurable change happen in Nebraska, right? Like,
yes,
that is one of my bucket list goals.
Yeah, I love it. She's is it she or he?
She. This is Lolly.
She's super excited to be on the live stream. So another story that it's like right next door. It was number 26, and I had it marked as well. Is when you met with with Abby, and Abby was a younger girl. I think you said she was 6 years old.
Yeah, she's not 6.
No, she's not 6 anymore. But when you gave her the advice, you said here, it's page 119. You said, I was holding back tears as I channeled my best advice for her because she said she wanted to be the first girl president and she wanted to climb one of the highest mountains and help people. You said that your best advice for her was don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't. I wasn't doing motivational speaking or anything along the way. I felt uncomfortable even introducing myself at each stop, to be honest, but this girl's self-starting, make things happen attitude inspired me to do some introspection and realize just how powerful an impact this trip was making. And I loved that because your advice to her was don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't. And so many people today need to hear that. I mean, that there is nothing that can stop them from doing what they want to do. The only thing that's stopping them is themselves.
Yeah. And Blake, it's funny how both you and I think, need to hear ourselves tell that to ourselves. You know, and I think if you listen to episode
that's why I marked it. Yeah.
Episode one of What's Your Something, I probably said the same thing to you as well. You know, that we are obviously older than Abby. This book, as I've described it before, it's not a kid's book. It's a book about kids for adults, right? But there's a kid, there's a young person in all of us, and the older that we get, the more I think we need to remember those simple lessons that are present in that chapter. You know, and again, you know, as I mentioned, there are some stories in here that don't usually stand out, but Abby is the quintessential story of this whole book. And every time I picks up this book and reads through it, I hope that they remember her name. You know, that this is not a book about Chris Strub. This is a book about Abby.
Yeah.
If every little girl out there could take that same sort of approach to life, we're in a really good state of mind here. And I see Jessica Phil. I do want to really say thank you to everyone who's watching and commenting. We'll have Blake rip the video so you can still see the comments and stuff too when we post on the different channels. But you can see here that this community that comes together hears these messages is really what makes this so special too. As long as Blake's supervisor doesn't see this while he's on.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So, are you there? What'd you say? I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
I said I didn't know you were working tonight, or I wouldn't have tweeted you to say go.
You just got to do it. You just got to do it. Yeah. But listen, there's a few other things that I really wanted to bring out, and it was toward the end of the book where, things started to really get rough for you, Chris. Like, holy crap. Like, things were getting tough. And
yeah, they were.
That's one thing that I love about you, and I think that's what makes us really good friends, is that where I am weak, you are strong. You're very strong in your consistency and your persistence. Those are areas that, honestly, I have moments where I lack in. And it helps having you around to push me forward, as well as many other people that are even here right now to continue to push me forward, to reach those goals. And you, even in those hard times, you pushed through even when you broke down. And I think were you at a Kmart? Did I read that right? Ready Kids.
Yeah.
And you just broke down. Was it Balt? No. I had it marked in here.
Oh, I can tell you, it was definitely.
It was Baltimore.
Oh God, yeah. No, Blake, I've been blessed to be able to retell this particular story a number of times on live stream videos and in person as well. Baltimore broke me, and again, I did. You remember I did Strub Week a couple weeks ago. We did the What's Your Something podcast. The next day, I spoke to Marissa Callie for her podcast, which actually just came out today. So if you want to hear me really get deep into Baltimore, I go a little bit deeper into the situation there. But between the heat, again, this book was, the summer of 2015 wasn't cold.
No,
middle of August in Maryland, and I accepted the challenge from my friend Lee to do the additional day with Pay Away the Layaway. Which I really probably should have just taken a breather and just slept in a little bit. Again, I was sleeping in my car, so it's kind of hard to sleep in.
Right.
That day, and New Mexico, really, I think, defined why. And again, Blake, I can't honestly tell you that I can stand up to any of the challenges that some of the people that are watching now have gone through, or that you as a parent, I'm just a guy who likes to travel and wrote a book and try to push myself a little bit. But I look up to you, Blake.
Well, thank you.
And I look up to, I don't know if Blake just froze or if I froze, but.
Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, now I can hear you again.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
What I'm saying is, I look up to you guys. I look up to the community that I've really developed here, and there's so many of you out there that whose friendships and whose relationships.
Thanks,
really
Jessica.
And I see Troy is here too. I had the chance to meet Troy, and I think you did What's Your Something with Troy as well.
Yep.
These are incredible people, man. And when you put yourself out there, again, it's not just the social media superstars like Jessica and Troy. It's really the people like Jackie Bryant at Ready Kids and, all of the wonderful people that are in this book who aren't on Snapchat every day. They're not on Instagram stories every day, but they have stories too.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, to wrap things up, I think we lost Chris, and it's okay. To wrap things up, guys, I think we are all right now, love the train. We love the train first and foremost. I think we all right now, for sure, we have to say we are thankful that Chris persisted and he was consistent, or we would not have these stories right here. Would you guys agree? Give Chris some emoji claps for not giving up, for not, just throwing in the towel when it got really rough. Otherwise, this book would not exist. Sure, it was almost the end of the trip, but we would have missed some amazing stories if Chris had decided just to throw in the towel. So we are so thankful for Chris that he did not give up. We are thankful that he wrote this book to share with us. Oh, and not only is there a train, but there's a chicken truck that just come by. Welcome to Etowah, Tennessee, folks. Yeah. You have train and chicken truck. Okay. Yes, if you gave up, you would have never met Sarah McDowell. I mean, we are so thankful for Chris, for all the stories in this book, and the fact that he keeps on keeping on. There we go. If I could talk straight today. So Chris, thank you for hopping on, and thank you guys for joining, and let's just give Chris tons of love for his book. And guys, there's another one, and I've got to review it too, but I got to get a copy first. So, oh boy, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Troy says if I gave up, quite frankly, I wouldn't even be alive. Never met any of you fine people here. Chris and Blake are freaking amazing. Thank you, Troy. We do love you. Thank you so much. And thank you to all that are here. We greatly love all of you. So thanks again. And I got to go back in here. You guys have a lovely evening. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a blessed night. If I could end it.